This past weekend we did see Quakecon 2015. A ton of new information about Fallout 4 was released, and today I'm going to give you all that information. I'm going to try and go as in-depth as I can with this, so some information might not be released at Quakecon, but it's relevant to other information released at Quakecon. I'm going to try and tie everything together, if that makes sense. With that, let's get right into it. So the first topic I do want to go over are gameplay changes. So first and foremost, we found out a bunch of new details about the special system and how leveling and perks are going to work now. The special stats are now going to be the backbone of everything. So perks are now going to be tied to individual special stats. At each level now, you will gain a new perk. Perk selection works as a massive chart. So essentially you'll have S, P, E, C, I, A, L, and each of those will make a row, and in that row will be different perks for you to be able to choose from. Some perks will have tiers, so you can get tier 1 of a perk, tier 2 of a perk, and obviously tier 2 will have greater benefits to you. There'll be about 30 perks available and 60 perks after leveling. Two confirmed perks right now are Intimidation and Attack Dog. It's not actually detailed what either of these will do, but we can speculate that Intimidation might be similar to Terrifying Presence, and that's a perk from Fallout New Vegas. Essentially what it did was after you exited dialogue, it would make enemies flee from you for 5 seconds. There are also some pause changes. So looting and hacking are now done in real time. So previously, if you were looting somebody, the game itself would pause and have a safe area to do that. It's no longer like this. The game will no longer pause when you're hacking or looting. Despite this, going into the Pip-Boy will still pause the game. So in dialogue now, you could actually have conversations with up to 2 different individuals at the same time, so you could have a basically 3-way conversation. There will now be a designated grenade and stimpack button. So previously, you would either for grenades have to go into your weapons tab and equipped grenades, and actually then you throw them, and you would have to go and use a stimpack. Now there'll be one button you can map to anything for either of those options, as well as an indicator on screen as to how many grenades you have and how many stimpacks you have. On top of this, the quick selection of weapons has been drastically improved. It's not really detailed what that means, it's just a few people from Quakecon have said that. And finally, we have animations. Animations will now be shown while using meds, so when you actually go to use a stimpack, you'll see yourself stab it into you. Weapon animations are said to have been drastically improved, as well as melee animations actually offer finisher moves, and all around melee animations are said to just be really a step above what they were before. So next is combat. There were a number of new weapons featured at Quakecon, those including the night vision rocket launcher, hardened sniper rifle, full auto plasma rifle, and scatter laser musket, which we have actually seen in Fallout Shelter as a weapon that Preston Garvey uses. It's also been detailed that regular guns will now have melee options, so you can kind of go up to enemies and hit them with your rifle. Around the wasteland now, you'll actually be able to find modded weapons, so depending on different enemies, they'll drop weapons with different types of mods on them. And finally, executions are now available with melee weapons. So this has to happen when an enemy is either at very low health or incapacitated, and you could go up to them and either in vats or outside of vats and kill them in a grand fashion. On the other side of things, we actually got a number of changes to NPCs also. Your karma now affects how NPCs will interact with you, so I imagine if you have good karma, certain NPCs will like you more and it might unlock certain dialogue options, and bad karma will do the opposite. You'll now have choices in the wasteland to now help or hurt certain factions, and this will actually affect your relations with those factions. So an example will be if you see raiders and the NCR fighting, you can choose to either help the raiders or help the NCR, and then if you help the NCR, the raiders will like you less and the NCR will like you more, and then if you help the raiders, the opposite would happen. Having good relations with NPCs will actually benefit you now. So in other words, if you have a high enough relations with certain factions, they'll send troops to help you in combat on a rare occasion. You can now shoot off limbs of enemies and not kill them. So you could shoot off the arm of a super mutant and he can continue to attack you. You can incapacitate enemies by shooting off their legs, so essentially they'll be rendered useless on the ground and kind of sit there, hence setting them up for an execution. There'll now be legendary enemies, so they're going to be much tougher, bigger versions, and well, obviously they'll be pretty formidable. A new raider was shown, the Raider Scaver. He was basically a power armor raider and was a lot stronger than the alternatives. And finally, NPCs can now call in reinforcements. So the way this was described is the lone survivor did go through a building and kill almost everyone inside. There was a few survivors left. That survivor actually called in reinforcements and new enemies were dropped by a vertebrate in power armor. So in the final category, we do have companions. We did find out the details of about 4 companions, the first of which being Mr. Handy or Codsworth. He'll be able to say your name, whether it be Ralph or Fuckface, and the inside of Mr. Handy has been more detailed, so when he's destroyed, you can actually have a better view of the insides of him. We also found out that Preston Harvey is going to be an available companion. He's actually the leader of the Minutemen, which is down to 5 people from 20 or so. They were dwindled down from Raider attack and now take refuge in the Museum of Freedom, which is actually located in Concord, which is a Raider stronghold. So the dog we've seen in all the trailers is going to be named Dogmeat, and obviously he is going to be another companion. He's found at the Red Rock Station, and he can actually do certain tasks, so you could tell Dogmeat to go fetch an item, and he'll go fetch an item. So the most mysterious of the companions revealed is Piper, and she's described as a woman wearing a red leather coat and an old-fashioned newsboy hat. She resides in Diamond City. She runs a newspaper called The Public Occurrences and has a little sister. That is actually all we know about her so far. We also found out that you could romance companions, so it doesn't matter if they're a male or a female. So in other words, you could be either heterosexual or homosexual, but that doesn't mean the companions are homosexual. So if Mr. Codsworth doesn't want to be homosexual with me, he may refuse to have intercourse. There will be 12 potential companions in the game, but you could only have 1 companion at your side. So that's actually about all the information we got from Quakecon. Obviously, I might have missed some information, I might have got some information wrong, so if I did that, make sure to tell me in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. I will be making sure to post a lot more Fallout 4 speculation and just videos of that nature. Click on screen right now to check out some other videos I did on the topic, and my Fallout 4 preparation series where I'm going to be playing through Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas in preparation for the Fallout 4 release. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.